All right, listen, most players learn scales, myself included. I know you know some scales, but the best players, more advanced players, they know when to use them. They know how to target notes. So let's say you go to a jam session, a little blues jam session, whatever, and you're playing G, C, D, okay? So you're thinking, what would I play over that? How would I improvise over that? Okay, so check this out, and this is kind of what we're gonna drill down on and do. Here we go, so check this out. So, shank. All right, so that's what happens. This is what practice looks like. So we're gonna talk about 3 to 5 tiny musical pillars. So here's your goal. Every time you pick up your guitar, you should have something to put in your musical catalog, a tiny pillar you built. Been talking about this in the podcast I just started. Love talking shop with you guys. Check that out. I'll link it at the end. You need to add something you didn't have, okay? So let's set this up. Now we said we're playing G here on the 3rd fret. I'm just doing the bar chord, okay? And then I'm gonna move the shape up to the 8th fret, okay? Same shape from the cage system, the E major shape, okay? C, and then D, same shape, 10th fret, root. Always know where the root is, okay? Now, the first tiny pillars, you gotta realize everything comes from the chord, right? So inside of these bar chords, I've said this a bazillion times and I'll keep saying it, there's a triad. It's the same triad that relates to the bar chord. So instead of playing this full G, you've got the triad, G, B, D. Now, first thing you need to light bulb in your brain is, oh, ding, 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 there's a shape. Look at it, it's on the D, G, B string set, okay? No charts today, we're gonna get this. Then we move up, same exact shape inside of the C, you have the same shape. Look, C, E, G, 1, 3, 5. It's a root major 5 triad, okay? Then you just slide it up where that D would be, boom. Okay, because I said, this all comes from a chord. Chords are built from scales. It's just seeing how to target notes. Okay, you got that. So that's our kind of foundational home. That's what the blues jam is in, okay? Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not like a rippin' blues player. I'm more of an alternative kid from the 90s and was in bands. That's my jam, but I still wanna keep getting better. So let's go back to point of view. Now, here's the second musical pillar, okay? We're gonna talk about less is more. We're gonna just do 2 scales, okay? Now, I said we want to target notes in the scale. We want to learn how to use them and when to use them and how to use them. Okay, so we've got this scale right here. This is a G major pentatonic. Now watch this. Okay, so again, don't worry about the theory part. So G major pentatonic. This is home. This is where everything's gonna come on back home. You want it to be pulled back to that G. Okay, so let that sink into your ears because you're getting ear training too. Okay, now let's go back to where the tension comes in. Okay? Now also drop in the comments, I want to know, do you usually use a combination of major and minor scales? Do you get stuck in one position in one type of scale? Okay? So just drop that, be curious. And where are you watching from? All right, now here comes the tension scale. We're gonna do E blues. Watch this. Real slow. This is just the part I chose. Okay, now the most important part of this is I said the word tension. You need to have some tension areas that you're gonna dance with on the fretboard, all right? So here's what I mean, and this is where I said I'm gonna practice what I preach. Something I would take away from my catalog is if I were to play a little groove over this G chord, I would probably start with this tension note right here. You got a B flat, okay, here, and you notice I had a B flat here, okay? I want you to know where those notes are every time you're on the fretboard, all right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play this B flat, I'm gonna go down to this A right here, okay? And then I'm gonna go into the chord. Now what I like to do is I like tension, so I think, oh, there's a B flat. What if I put that open B string against it? Listen to this. This is actually a minor second interval. That's tension, right? Okay, now look at that. From that, so what if you're at this blues jam and you go straight into that? As soon as, let's say you play through the progression, when somebody hits the downbeat of the one the second time through, you're like, okay. Now I want you to also, you have to think about using dynamics, okay? You could play parts of the scales with like less dynamics and then hit that tension note hard, poke it out. That's what you're trying to do, tension release, and then come back home. So here we go. See, what I'm doing is I'm weaving back and forth between tension from the E blues and then back home and the G major pentatonic, which is actually all the same notes except for the flat 5, the B flat, and the E blues. I'm just adding that. I'm adding that tension note. Okay, so you got that. Now listen, everything I throw on here for you guys is nothing more than a mere framework. You're gonna play like you, I'm gonna play like me, but we're gonna keep adding to our catalogs using our musicality. So, remember when I said there's a triad in there, okay? This is another little killer move, okay? And this one you can duplicate up through the progression. So let's say I've got the major third right here, okay? 1, 3, 5. That's another target note you wanna be aware of. Always know where your third is, and then your flat 5, okay? Say major third here, and the G, slide up to this triad. Here's my major third, and the C, here's my major third in the D. Now right away you should be kind of registering the fact that, oh, it's easy, I just know the third stays in the same spot in the triad shape, okay? And listen, if you're like, what's this dude talking about? Just trust me, keep coming back here. I hit everything in a very circular motion. It's all repetition, and even when you learn it, you gotta keep hammering it, okay? So, the reason I show the third is you can do something like this. So check this out real close. Play this major third, okay? And then you can hit the fourth, this like another tension note. Now watch out, this is just in the G, right? Watch what happens if I go down to that tension note. So if I go, okay, see what I did there? Again, just another little thing I tried. It's like a big piece of clay that you're turning into a tiny musical pillar. Gets it? Makes sense? So let's try this, move these triads up through the progression, okay? Okay, watch this. Again, you're just creating tension. You're weaving in between major and minor. A lot of times you're doing it just by bending notes in and out of pitch. You want to always, blues is like, in my opinion, tell me what you think, it's like everything's going to come off the rails. It's like a train that's about to derail and it's like turning sideways. Somehow it stays on the tracks. That's all you're trying to do, okay? So you've got your tension notes. Now, I should show you, one thing I did in the intro is when I went up to the C, I dropped back 2 frets down on the high E right here. I'm on the 6th fret. Now the reason I did that is that's another B flat. That's another flat 5. That's a tension note. And I did this thing where I bent it and then I raked, and then I raked back down and I hit a note inside of the D triad. Now that might be a little more advanced, but it's something you could actually isolate and just work on. So I could go, watch. That's another thing you gotta add to great guitar playing are these rakes. Like, you following me? So these are all the tiny musical pillars we're building. Pillar number 1, just understanding that the triad's inside of the bar chords. And that we always resolve back home here, okay? Are kind of fun. I should work on this more often. All right, you guys, drop jellyfish or your favorite sea creature in the comments. Just keep going because Only you can stop you. You're not going to stop. I will see you in the next video. Let's keep this thing rolling. Check out the podcast. Let me know what you think. Watch some of these videos sprinkled here, and I will see you tomorrow or the next day or whenever. Peace.